Hello, this is Pierre Ethier, Class 12 Auditor, and today is the 1st of July 2011, Canada Day, and I'm in the beautiful city of Oslo in Norway. I'm going to make a short briefing today to clarify some confusion that seems to take place among both ex-Scientologists and current Scientologists and people in between. It's about what a squirrel is. Now, squirrel was defined by L. Ron Hubbard as a derogatory term to indicate someone that alters a technology and does wrong thing with it. Now, to take his own writings on the subject, he says, and I quote, "A squirrel is doing something entirely different. He doesn't understand any of the principles, so he makes up a bunch of them and fulfills his ignorance and voices them off on a piece and gets no place." Now, according to dozens and dozens of people who've seen me recently, that's exactly what the church is doing right now. The quote I gave is from the Tech Dictionary. It's from a briefing course from the 8th of November 1961. Other definition of a squirrel: those who engage in actions altering Scientology and offbeat practices. Introduction of Scientology Ethics. Again, it's altering the technology that makes a squirrel. To change or invent processes. HOB 23 May 69. Squirreling means altering Scientology and offbeat practices. It's a bad thing. HOPL 14 February 65. Squirreling is not really a different process. It is careless, incomplete, messed up auditing procedure. HOB 15 January 1970. Now, this describes exactly what the Church of Scientology is doing now. Therefore, they are the squirrels. And I find myself in a situation somewhat akin to France during the Nazi occupation. You had two choices: be with the Vichy government, which was simply collaborating and helping the Nazis suppress people, kill them, and take cruel vengeance on anyone at their whim, or join the free people in the South, headed by de Gaulle, to liberate France from the oppression. So that's the situation. The squirrels, or whoever people alter the tech, and I've often exposed squirrels wherever they were, whether they were in the church or out. Now, the church has redefined a squirrel as someone who applies Scientology outside of the church. Well, that is a political definition and is covered in no writings except of those of David Miscavige. So enough said about what is a squirrel. Then there is a subject of verbal tech, and this is exactly what's wrong with the church. They accept verbal tech. The bulletins have all been written by Ron Hubbard long ago, most of them. And verbal tech, according to Hubbard again, from a bulletin of February 79, it is giving out data which is contrary to HO bulletins or policy letters. The church does that on a daily basis. People alter the rundowns. They've altered the division of a floating needle. Obstructing their use or application. People say this is not the way it should be done. The bulletin say that. RTC says no. Miscavige says so. And over, Miscavige has written executive directive, SOEDs, that now supplant HO bulletins. And L. Robert had always said only a bulletin can replace a bulletin. Corrupting their intent. Well, the way they run HO sec check, they run people on false reads. They spend too intensive looking for widows that don't exist. Once I audited a guy. The guy is a carpenter who only speaks Italian, had hardly ever left his country, and now there's a read on working for the CIA. And they spend a good 4 hours exploring that read and of course go nowhere. And no time did the auditor ever thought that maybe it could be a false read. Maybe it was a protest read. Because it's true, I've gotten about 60 questions that did not lead anywhere. So maybe the PC is starting to protest. But no, 4 hours answering that this guy doesn't belong to the CIA. And then the rest of all the verbal tech is interpreting verbally otherwise for another. Miscavige, that's what he does every time he writes something. He tells how the text should be interpreted. Because I've talked to someone and Miscavige was actually telling him he had written more than L. Ron Hubbard. And the green volumes, meaning the OEC volumes, were garbage. And there is the new project for the golden age of knowledge, is the rewrite of the red volumes, because Miscavige is working on changing them so that they fit his obtuse understanding of the tech. So verbal tech is simply verbal tech. If it violates what is written, then it's verbal tech. And I'm sorry, but you have to be a robot or to be hypnotized to not see what is in front of you. And for those who are still misguided enough to fanatically follow someone who's on the bridge of the Titanic, who's already starting to list very badly and say there is nothing wrong, I think it's time for you to get the perception rundown. This is all for now. Thank you for listening.